my entire family, gathered for Grandfather Harrison's will reading. Designer suits and pearls surrounded the table, while I sat in my simple black dress, my briefcase at my feet. And finally, Mr. Peterson, the family lawyer, adjusted his glasses. To my granddaughter Sarah, nothing. The expected smirks appeared around the table. Cousin William actually chuckled. Well, that's settled then, Aunt Regina said, patting her Hermes scarf. Though really, Sarah, did you expect anything else after abandoning the family business? I checked my watch. A subtle Patek Philippe that cost more than their combined inheritances. Actually, there's something else we need to discuss. The time for discussions is over, Uncle Robert declared. The will is clear. I placed my briefcase on the table, its soft leather worth more than the law firm's annual revenue. Is it? Sarah, my brother Thomas sighed, don't make this difficult. You chose to leave finance for whatever it is you do now. What I did now. I smiled, thinking of the documents inside my briefcase. Documents showing exactly what I'd been doing while they thought I was finding myself. Mr. Peterson, I said quietly, would you mind pulling up the ownership records for Harrison Global Holdings? The lawyer frowned but complied, typing on his laptop. I don't see how this is relevant. Check who acquired controlling interest last quarter. The room fell silent as Mr. Peterson's face paled. This must be a mistake. No mistake. I opened my briefcase. While you were all fighting over grandfather's millions, I was buying billions in distressed assets, including, as it happens, all of your debts. What debts? William scoffed. We're wealthy. Are you? I spread documents across the table. Those leveraged positions you took, Thomas? I own them now. That mortgage on your summer house, Aunt Regina? The loan you couldn't quite hide from the board, Uncle Robert? I control that too. The afternoon sun through the windows illuminated their stunned faces as reality sank in. Impossible, Thomas whispered. You left banking. I left traditional banking, I corrected. Started my own investment firm. Specialized in acquiring distressed assets while maintaining complete anonymity. Your financial advisors never knew they were negotiating with me. Mr. Peterson was frantically scrolling through documents. These numbers, 30 million in combined debt obligations. All legally acquired through various shell companies. I pulled out more papers. Would you like to see how much interest you all owe? Aunt Regina grabbed her phone, probably to call her financial advisor. This is a trick. Call them, I suggested. Ask who owns Harrison Capital Partners now. Ask who's been buying up every bad investment decision this family made over the past 5 years. The conference room's heavy silence was broken only by the sound of shuffling papers as my relatives began examining their own financial doom. The merger deal last summer, Thomas said suddenly, when our mystery competitor blocked the board's vote. That was me. I smiled. Just like I was behind the acquisition of William's failing tech division. And the restructuring of Aunt Regina's retail empire. Uncle Robert's face had turned an interesting shade of gray. The anonymous creditor who's been calling our loans. Also me. I checked my phone as another notification appeared. Oh look, your London office just defaulted on its lease. I own that building too, by the way. The afternoon light caught the edge of my briefcase, highlighting the subtle logo of my real company. The one they'd been too arrogant to notice was systematically acquiring their empire. You get nothing from grandfather's will, I agreed, standing. But you all owe me something much bigger. Shall we discuss payment terms? Let me understand this. Thomas's voice trembled as he reviewed the documents. While we thought you were finding yourself, you were actually building the largest private debt acquisition firm in the country? I smiled. Yes. Those meditation retreats you mocked? Board meetings in Singapore. The soul-searching travels? Negotiating deals across Europe. That basic apartment where you refused to visit? My company's first headquarters. Mr. Peterson was still frantically checking records. The Harrison fortune, it's all leveraged beyond recovery, I finished. Except now, instead of owing money to various banks and creditors, you owe it all to me. Aunt Regina's perfectly manicured hands shook as she examined her property documents. The Miami estate. Technically mine now, I said. Along with the art collection you used as collateral. Beautiful Monet, by the way. It'll look lovely in my office. William slumped in his chair. The tech startup loans were bought by my shell company last year. I pulled up the details on my tablet. Right after you laughed at my pathetic understanding of modern business. How's that cryptocurrency investment working out? The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the conference room as my family's financial empire crumbled before their eyes. That charity gala last month, Uncle Robert whispered. When you were working the coat check. I own the venue, I said. Just like I own the building we're sitting in now. Mr. Peterson's firm might be interested to know their lease is up for review. The lawyer loosened his tie, suddenly very interested in the papers before him. Your little investment club, I continued, addressing the room. The one you said I wasn't qualified to join? I've owned controlling interest in every company you've discussed for the past year. Those hot tips you shared. I was manipulating those markets while you bragged about your insider knowledge. My phone buzzed with another notification. Probably another of their assets falling under my control. I'd timed today's revelations perfectly with multiple loan deadlines. The family beach house, Thomas said suddenly. The one you couldn't afford to help maintain. Check the property records, I suggested. That maintenance company you hired? One of my subsidiaries. I've owned the house outright for months. Your keys, by the way, won't work anymore. Aunt Regina finally found her voice. But your clothes, your lifestyle, are worth more than your annual income, I said, straightening my simple black dress, a one-of-a-kind piece that cost more than their cars combined. I just don't feel the need to show off like some people. Through the windows I could see my real car arriving, not the modest sedan they'd mocked in the parking lot, but an armored luxury vehicle worth millions. You all thought I was a failure, I continued, gathering my documents. Too naive for high finance. Too soft for the family business. Meanwhile, I was building something bigger than all of you combined. Mr. Peterson cleared his throat. The terms of repayment are quite simple, I said. You can either pay the $30 million you collectively owe me by the end of the month, or I start foreclosing on everything you thought you owned. 30 days. William sputtered. That's impossible. Interesting. I checked my watch. That's exactly what you said when I asked for a loan to start my company. Impossible for someone like you, I believe, were your exact words. The conference room had grown eerily quiet, the weight of their impending financial ruin settling over the expensive suits and designer accessories. I've spent 5 years watching you all mock my choices, I said, closing my briefcase. Criticizing my decisions. Questioning my intelligence. Now you get to spend the next 30 days realizing that every luxury you enjoy, every asset you claim, every dollar you spend, belongs to me. One thing still doesn't make sense, Thomas said, desperation creeping into his voice. The capital. Where did you get the initial investment? I smiled, pulling one final document from my briefcase. Actually, you all provided it. Remember grandfather's worthless tech stocks? The ones you refused to inherit 15 years ago. The color drained from their faces as understanding dawned. Those ancient shares in some garage startup? Uncle Robert whispered. The ones we let you keep as a joke? Google, I said simply. Pre-IPO Google shares. Worth about $40 million when I quietly sold them. Grandfather knew exactly what he was doing. He just wanted to see who had the patience to wait. Mr. Peterson's hands trembled as he pulled up the original inheritance documents. The codicil. The one everyone dismissed. To the grandchild who sees value where others see nothing, I quoted. Grandfather built his empire by spotting hidden opportunities. You all were too busy counting his cash to learn his actual lessons. My phone displayed another notification. The family's private bank requesting an urgent meeting with their new majority creditor. The Christmas party last year, Aunt Regina said weakly. When you served drinks because we'd fired the catering staff. I own the catering company, I replied. Just like I own the venue. And the security firm. And the art on the walls. I've been watching you all slowly lose everything while thinking you were on top of the world. William grabbed his phone. I'm calling my broker. Charles. I smiled. He works for me now. So does your accountant. And your real estate agent. That penthouse you're so proud of? I own the mortgage. The cars, the boats, the private school tuitions. all leveraged through companies I control. The afternoon light had shifted, casting a golden glow across the documents detailing their complete financial submission to the family member they'd dismissed. You can't just take everything, Thomas protested weakly. I already have. I stood, smoothing my designer dress. Every loan you took, every mortgage you leveraged, every investment you made, all bought by my firms while you were busy mocking my failure to follow the family path. Mr. Peterson was still processing the documents. The terms of settlement are generous considering, I cut in. 30 days to repay $30 million. Or I start taking everything, the houses, the cars, the club memberships. Even those precious family heirlooms you used as collateral. Aunt Regina clutched her grandmother's pearls protectively. These weren't. Check the insurance papers, I suggested. You used them to secure the loan for your daughter's wedding. A beautiful ceremony, by the way. I watched from my table in the back, the one you said was probably meant for staff. Through the windows, more luxury cars arrived. My actual fleet, not the modest rental I'd driven to maintain appearances. Your credit cards, I continued, will stop working at midnight. The private school tuitions are due next week. The country club memberships expire in 3 days. I own it all. Why? Thomas asked, his voice barely a whisper. Why do this? Because you never saw me coming, I replied. Too busy counting your millions to notice the billions slipping through your fingers. Too proud to see that the failure was building an empire while serving your drinks. My security team, disguised as law firm staff all morning, moved into position as I gathered my things. The annual family photo, William said suddenly. The one where you stood in the back. Will look quite different this year, I agreed. You can still afford the photographer. He works for me now too. The weight of their complete financial dependence on my mercy settled over the room like an expensive shroud. Grandfather's lesson wasn't about money, I said, closing my briefcase. It was about value. About seeing opportunity where others see nothing. You all failed that test 15 years ago when you laughed at his worthless tech stocks. My phone buzzed again. Probably another of their assets falling under my control. I'd orchestrated today's revelations to coincide with multiple financial deadlines. Now, I moved toward the door, you have 30 days to learn the lesson he tried to teach you. Or you can spend the rest of your lives working to pay off your debts. To me. The afternoon sun caught my briefcase's platinum clasps, worth more than their monthly expenses combined. One last thing, I paused at the threshold. That family motto you all love to quote. Fortune favors the bold. They stared at me, their financial worlds collapsing around their designer suits and empty pride. I've had it trademarked, I smiled. You'll need my permission to use it from now on. The heavy door closed behind me with a satisfying click, leaving them to contemplate their new reality. In 30 days, they'd learn what